Did you know you probably have a flesh-eating fungus and you don't even know it? Or maybe you do know it because your toes are on fire and you're looking for the best treatment approaches. I'm a pharmacist and I will answer a whole lot of questions in this video. I wanted to highlight this fungus among us because winter is here and you know what that means. It is athlete's foot season. Did you know that at any given time, 10 to 20% of the US population is suffering from this underrepresented fungus? Yes, I'm talking about athlete's foot, or its medical terminology, Tinea pedis. It's the fungus that usually starts between the toes and makes them itch like crazy, or feel like you just want to scratch them off, especially right after taking off your socks. That's because your skin reacts quickly to oxygen. Hence, exposing your foot and fresh air to the sitting fungus poison really catches the attention of your pain and itch receptors. If you have wandered down the pharmacy aisle, then you know there are many products available in many forms. And what's the best treatment and which one should you use? If you're suffering from athlete's foot, the scientifically proven and FDA-endorsed fastest and most effective medications are Lamisil AT, Naftin, and Lotrimin Ultra. These are the most advanced and proven most effective at treating athlete's foot. They do cost more than the other types, so of course there's that trade-off. In theory, these have treatment times of 2 weeks versus 3 weeks and have shown slightly better results at attacking the fungus. But hey, a week is a week. Don't worry if you picked up a different one, because maybe it was cheaper and that's fine. That'll work too. It just takes about a week longer. And if you don't treat this fungus, it will spread. So I bet you want to know, can it kill you? Well, the answer to that is not usually. It will usually not kill you. I know that's not a super clear answer for a very important question. It's like boarding a flight in stormy weather and the pilot goes, "This type of weather doesn't usually cause the plane to crash, but you know, if the circumstances are just right, yeah, we're all gonna die." Okay, details please. Not to worry, I have those for you, not about the potential plane crash, but about how to avoid a case of deadly athlete's foot. Side note, no, as far as I know, the fungus itself does not kill you, but in severe cases, it can cause a secondary infection that can absolutely kill you. So it's best to treat this infection with something. Even if you don't have athlete's foot right now, you should know that 1 in 5 people will eventually get it. Then what are you gonna do? So just watch this video now and then you'll know. Athlete's foot is a stubborn fungal infection, and for half of these people who contract it, it will return within 6 months. Yikes! That's because for them, it never really goes away, all the way. That is because those people are hiding it in low levels in the skin microbiome, just waiting for the opportunity to mutiny. So why do we need these topical antifungal medicines anyways? Can I just use some DIY treatment or a home remedy? The short answer is yes. You can skip the antifungals and treat it naturally, DIY. But like everything in life, there's a trade-off. And in this case, it's time. It will take 2 to 3 months to treat it if you just do the at-home treatment alone. Studies have shown that natural treatments work. They just work very slowly, and you have to be super consistent. A little teaser here though. These at-home treatments are actually quite important, and I do recommend using them. But you'll have to wait a little bit longer in this video till I can tell you when and how and why you should use them. Perhaps you want to know, are these over-the-counter topical antifungals in the pharmacy toxic to our bodies, like so many other Western medicines are? If you're wondering why it doesn't break down or attack our own skin cell walls, that's because these super smart chemists found a way to attack specific types of fungus-only cholesterol that humans don't make. This cholesterol is needed for the cell wall to form and function properly. Without it, the fungus collapses into cellular death. That is how these medications attack the fungus, and not us humans. We don't make that special cholesterol in our cell walls. So, did you pick up on the part where I said these attack the formation of the cell walls? That means not the ones already formed, the mature ones. The over-the-counter medications do not actually kill the fungus that is mature and has a functioning cell wall. Nope. These keep the fungus from reproducing. That's why it takes so long to cure. It's killing off the baby fungus, and then we just have to wait for the adult fungus to grow old and die. How long does that take? A single cell of fungus to grow old and die? They live on average for 2 weeks. Therefore, that will be the minimum time it will take an infection to get under control, assuming the product is doing a 100% job of killing the fungus cells, which we can assume nothing happens 100% of the time. That's why these creepy little fungus are so pervasive. If you bought the best and fastest acting Lamisil AT, Naftin, or Lotrimin Ultra because you wanted a 2-week therapy time and be done with it, well, that's not guaranteed. I know that's what these companies did studies to show, and the FDA lets them advertise that it will go away in 2 weeks, but don't get your hopes up. Because again, these only stop new fungus from being made, and then you just have to wait for the older fungus cells to die, which again takes about 2 weeks. Therefore, you're still most likely going to be treating for 3 weeks, and I would even encourage 4 weeks. I know that's not what the package says, but remember, these are businesses trying to sell you a product. They advertise the quickest treatment times that they can show the FDA, even if the results are not typical to the general population in real life. That's why it doesn't really matter which medication you choose. Just pick one and do it consistently and correctly for 3 to 4 weeks. And then 1 more week after the infection seems to be gone. This is how you get those stubborn little spores hiding in the deep layers of your skin. Which now brings me to pro tip number 1, is to add on some simple home therapies that will actually attack the living fungus. Not only will these pantry staple treatments clear the infection sooner, they will also increase your chances that it won't come back. Yep, we will get into those magical medical treatments in just a minute, because we need to address one other topic about the over-the-counter treatments before we move on too far. I wanted to make a note here. Not only are there many brands, there's many different forms too. Sprays, gels, creams, etc. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you choose, but you have to use it consistently. The difference mainly comes in convenience. Some people like the sprays because they don't want to touch and rub the cream and risk spreading the fungus. But the sprays tend to be weaker and don't penetrate as deep. In fact, there are some weaker scientific studies that show you're likely to have a reoccurrence if you use the spray alone. You should use an add-on therapy like a cream or gel. So we're good, right? Just grab any one of the creams and gels and get to work on knocking down that infection. Another pro tip to keep this fungus at bay, it's a good idea to rotate shoes each day, giving your shoe an entire day to dry out and not incubate that fungus while you're sleeping. Remember, these funguses enter the deeper layers of our skin through damages of the skin barrier. Therefore, keeping your skin barrier intact is the #1 measure to prevent these itchy infections. Here are some ways that our skin barrier can become damaged. Cuts, obviously. Wet, humid environments, aka crammed into sweaty shoes, eczema flares, even dry skin can have micro cracks, allowing for the entry of these microorganisms. So bottom line, take care of your skin barrier daily and prevent these infections from the start. Let's move on to some information about what to expect during treatment. One thing that makes this fungus so hard to get rid of is that we accidentally reinfect ourselves during treatment. Sometimes we accidentally spread it along. I tend to visualize that old 80s board game, Chutes and Ladders. It's an old game where at any point you can land on a slide square and then slide all the way back down to the beginning of the game. You think you're almost done, and then bam, you go down to the chute and start all over again. For us humans, this is a super contagious fungus, and not only can it spread from one toe to the next, it can make bigger jumps from one body part to another, and from one household member to another. Because when you have an active fungal infection, every barefoot step you take, you're literally spreading millions of fungal spores. Picture it like blowing those furry dandelion seeds everywhere. Every time your foot takes a step, poof, fungal spores flying. So, pro tip number 2, keep those feet in clean, dry socks the entire treatment, even at night. This means you will likely be going through 2 to 3 pairs of socks a day. Just so you know, sometimes it helps to gear up mentally for something like that. And yes, several clean pairs of socks a day. I know, I just said you need to wear socks at night. I know it's not my favorite thing either, but hear me out. The sheets can make you at risk for spreading the fungus to other parts of your body or to your bed partner, or even back onto your same toes. Socks will cut this down big time. In the unfortunate event that this fungus spreads to another part of your body, it shows up as ringworm or Tinea versicolor. It's the same fungus, just a different common name based on the location and symptoms. But the good news is, it's the same treatment, topical antifungals. So if this happens to you, start putting your athlete's foot product on that part too. You don't need to go out and buy something marketed as ringworm. It's all the same thing. These infections are just aggressive, opportunistic Tinea fungus infections, eating away at your skin. Studies have shown that all the creams and gels are much more effective if used twice a day for 3 weeks, no matter what the label tells you. Let me restate this again clearly. No matter which brand you choose, gel, cream, or spray, apply to clean, dry feet twice a day, covered up with clean socks, and do this for 3 weeks. Even if your symptoms go away in 2. It's easy, but it's kind of a pain at the same time, I know. This is what studies have shown over and over and over to be the most effective treatment. If you want this painful, annoying infection to be over as quickly as possible and not come back, then apply your product twice a day for 3 weeks minimum. This brings me to pro tip number 3, how to keep this cross-contamination from family members and preventing it from bouncing back to you. The unavoidable barefoot shower. More importantly, pay attention to how you dry off in the shower. I recommend that during treatment, you have a dedicated stack of hand towels for your feet. Just use the hand towel once and toss it into the bin for washing. If you have a stack of these small towels for your feet, then you can avoid having to wash your large towel every day. It's more eco-friendly and it's just easier. Keep your treatment in the bathroom so you can reapply after washing and put those clean socks on right away. Also, then what do we do about the contaminated moist shower floor? Well, you don't necessarily need to deep clean your shower for the rest of your family members after you've used it. That would be a lot of work. Well, you don't want to spread this fungus to other family members via your damp shower floor. Simply spray down the shower floor with any multi-surface cleaner. Wait 2 minutes, then do a quick rinse. That will do the trick at the bottom of the shower. No scrubbing needed. Pro tip number 4, avoid baths during treatment too, in case this wasn't obvious. The last thing your skin needs is to be suspended in a warm bath of aggressive fungal spores. While we're on the topic of spreading it easily, this brings me to pro tip number 5. While you're wandering the aisles of the pharmacy, choosing the right product just for you, go ahead and pick up some of those disposable latex or nitrile gloves, because you should be using them when you're applying the creams and gels between your toes. There's a chance that this infection can spread to your hands, eyes, or anywhere else your hands wander, especially if you have a small cut or injury. Or if you skip the gloves option, at the very least, wash your hands in hot soapy water after application of your creams or gels. These creams and gels sound like a lot of work, right? Well, I think that's why the spray form hit the market. The spray just seems easier and less messy. Same with the sprinkle powders. So the spray. I love the idea of the spray. I just wish the top 4 manufacturers would come out with their product in spray form. Instead, you have Tinactin. Anyone remember those commercials? Tufactin, Tinactin. Just me? Okay. It was a long time ago. Anyways, the brand is called Microconazole, and the active ingredient is older. It's less effective as a topical antifungal treatment, and it means you'll need to do this whole sock wearing, washing, multiple towel routine for a whopping 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know about you, but those extra 2 to 3 weeks kind of make the glove-wearing cream rubbing option a lot more palatable. But that doesn't mean it's a bad product. It just takes almost twice as long to work. I used to get asked a lot, is there just like a pill I can take for this? Nope. Why does it take so much time to get a fungal bloom under control? Remember when I said that these topical antifungals just keep the fungus from growing more? These pharmacy treatments prevent new baby funguses from growing, but they don't attack the old fungus cells. Finally, we are to the point where those pantry staples DIY natural treatments come into picture for athlete's foot. There are 2 at-home treatments that have been studied and have been deemed effective at killing mature fungus. Yes, if you attack the mature cells from day 1, in addition to your conventional treatment that targets the new cells, not only will you shorten the duration of your overall treatment, you will greatly increase your chances of keeping this fungus gone for good. The first at-home and natural treatment for athlete's foot is a baking soda foot bath. You'll want to add 1 cup of baking soda for every 6 cups of water. That's just for 1 foot, so if both feet are infected, just double that. To recap, 1 cup of baking soda, 6 cups of water, soak 15 minutes every other day. Baking soda gets to work by attacking those cell walls of the fungus that we talked about. The molecular changes in the pH of the water make this very alkaline environment. As much higher pH, opposite of what our skin and fungus likes. This surrounds the fungus and it really messes with the cellular chemistry of the mature fungus's cell wall. It causes little holes to form in it, like cracks in a dam. Enough cracks and the dam will burst, and that's how it attacks the mature fungus cell. Remember, I only recommend this every other day, because unlike the antifungal medications, baking soda isn't super healthy for human skin cells either. If you Google baking soda benefits for skin, the internet will flood your page with glowing, exfoliating benefits. But in the same skincare world, that over-exfoliating will strip and damage your skin. If we were talking about an exfoliating facial mask, I would say only use this once a week. But since we're trying to kill fungus on tougher skin of our feet, we can use it every other day, taking care not to overdo it or damage our healthy skin in the process. On the alternate days of the baking soda foot soak, this time we would use a white vinegar foot soak. This recipe is even easier to remember. It's 1-to-1, equal parts vinegar to equal parts water. This time, instead of raising the pH of the water like the baking soda does, the vinegar lowers the pH and disrupts the function of cellular protoplasm in the fungus. Protoplasm? It's a fancy science word for the organs of the fungus cell. Think the protoplasm is like the heart and the lungs and the liver of the fungus cell. Will this vinegar mixture kill our own skin cell protoplasm? Well, not really. Our skin cell walls are much thicker than the fungus ones. So the lower pH of the vinegar, it can't penetrate the cell wall and get inside to affect our own protoplasm. A simple foot bath every other day should not erode our own cell walls that quickly. But of course, if your skin is getting irritated from it, then discontinue. Quick recap. Baking soda works to kill the fungus because it raises the pH of the water, and vinegar works to kill the fungus because it lowers the pH of the water. See? Opposite reactions. This is one reason why you should alternate them, but also don't fall for the internet recipes who think 2 is better than 1 and combine the 2, vinegar and baking soda, into the same foot bath. No, don't fall for that. It won't work. It cancels each other out, and it also forms an elementary school volcano eruption, not a fungal killing foot bath. Okay, here's some last treatment add-ons that you can use to keep athlete's foot at bay. There are several natural essential oils that have been studied and have fungicidal properties to them. Tea tree oil being the most common and most known. There are a couple studies about tea tree oil treatment, and I've attached the best ones below. But basically, it works very similar to the over-the-counter topical creams by slowing the growth rate of the fungus. Improvements of this natural treatment are typically seen after 2 weeks, and in most cases are cleared up within 6 to 8 weeks. So like I said earlier, if you want to treat this naturally with plant-made oils, you certainly can. The trade-off is just time. It will take 3 to 4 times longer to treat. And caution, do not apply the essential oil directly to your skin. That will burn it. If you're going to use any essential oil, mix it with a carrier oil like grapeseed oil before application. There is another natural treatment that also has plant studies to back it up, and I found in my research it piqued my interest. There's a company making a product called Gochu Cream. While I've not used this cream yet and it seems to only be available online, it looks like it has a lot of natural organic ingredients that you would want in a fungicidal herbal alternative treatment. It has tea tree oil, excellent fungicidal, and it also has several other extensively studied fungicidal herbs like Centinella asteiatica, as well as the name implies, a high amount of gotu kola extract, which is shown to kill fungus, especially mature cells that have learned are really hard to do. While this cream itself has not been used in clinical trials, its main 3 ingredients have, and the high concentrations of these natural fungicidals would lead me to believe it would work quite well. Remember, the most important takeaway for the fungal foot infections is to pick up a medicine, plant, or over-the-counter treatment, use it twice a day until symptoms are gone, and then 1 more week past that. Clean socks the whole time, even in bed. And finally, make sure your shoes are dry each time you wear them. Okay, there you have it. That's my pharmacist review of athlete's foot treatment and prevention, plus herbal bonus. If you would like some additional pharmacist review choices on topical, pain, and arthritis relief, then you can meet me over at that next video. Best pain relief products for joint and inflammation pain. Okay, see you there.